Alright guys, we are out here at Hardwood Hills Ranch racing round 6 of the MHSC series. I'm racing on my 21 CRF250RX. We're right here at the start of this race, watching the Class 4s go. As you can see, it's pretty dusty. Right here we got the 30-second mark. And now we're at the 15. It's go time. And we are off. Got kind of a late jump on this one. My plan from the beginning was to not get too far up in the front because as the practice lap that we went on, it was pretty rough. As you can see right here, I immediately got lost in the dust. I couldn't see anything. Lost a few more places. Right there in the yellow helmet is Robert. He's a buddy of mine from work. Good size little funnel there where everybody kind of bottlenecked up together. Lost a few more spots here just because I couldn't get in. I think I did get in front of Robert though. And now we're into some of the single track. And lots of fun and dust. Some of this dust made it pretty hard just to even see the person in front of you at times. It did get better throughout the day though. It's kind of hard to see through here, but this is actually pretty steep downhill, and I was still getting kind of used to the terrain and everything. Made for a nice little challenge. There was a few people that were slipping up and whatnot, but we made the best of it and had some fun. Right through here there was a nice little creek crossing. This course actually had quite a few of these today. That spot right there was pretty loose, but it was a lot of fun. Right through here we had another nice little straightaway, single track through the woods. This whole course was actually pretty flowy as far as openness and some good single track. I wouldn't mind going back out there and riding sometime. Here we're on kind of a back little dirt road. It was pretty dusty through here pretty much all day long. We enter back in the woods here, and for some reason this section of woods seemed like there was always people hung up in it. I don't know if it's because it was just tighter or what the deal was. I tried to go out and around and get caught in some of these trees, and of course let like 15 freaking people by me. The guy in front of me wearing black right there in the fox gear with the bike that says Hodo, that's Tom. He's another one of my coworkers. Pretty good dude. I always give him shit for being slow, but he's always way faster than me. Here we're still going through some more nice tight single track, and yet again another person takes a little bit of a tumble, it looks like, and has to get their bike up. Thought he was going to pick his bike up, so I kind of held for a second, and I think I should have just went like the rest of the guys. I think this course was kind of rough on everybody. Right here we got a nice uphill section, and there's like these little terraces that are like for like water breaks or whatever, and they actually made for kind of fun. Towards the end of the day though, these little hills like this became so loose and just dusty. It was pretty tough later on in the day as we were going up these. Made for some fun challenges though. As you can see on this sign here on the tree, we're coming up on mile marker 1. So first mile down, only 11 more to go. right here coming in this corner. I don't know why, but I got thrown off a little bit. Ended up getting caught up in this vine. It was wrapped around my bike, around my fairings, and my pegs. So I ended up losing a few more positions here. This is the guy that got in front of me right there at that vine, and luckily he was nice enough to let me go around him. So I appreciate it if you watch this video. Thanks for pulling off for me. Right after going around that guy that pulled off for me, I pull off because I hear another big bike behind me pretty close. Turns out it was Robert, and we're obviously racing in the same class here together, but he rides on this line here, and I'm kind of in the other single track here, and we kind of go down this hill together. A lot of fun, this course. This whole place had lots of different lines, made for some interesting and challenging riding at times. So I definitely feel like I took away a little bit from this day of riding. So I was happy about that. Not sure why that guy was pulled off right there, but I guess he just needed a break and couldn't find a better spot. Right here and going through some nice wide area. Looks like Robert stalled out his bike or something. I try to go around him, end up spinning out. You can kind of tell, but I'm like pushing like I'm kicking a skateboard, trying to get up this hill, kind of go off the path a little bit and take this alternate line. And it's me and Robert again, kind of going up a hill, following each other. Well, me following him. Goes over that log right there. I kind of went around it. In hindsight, I should have just went over it. So as you can see, we're following each other through the woods, and it's still dusty. One thing I'm definitely going to start doing better, I seem to pull off as soon as I hear somebody behind me. This guy here was actually, I believe, another guy in my class, and I should have just stayed on it and made him find a way around me. And in hindsight, really, a lot of these guys that are passing me could probably find a way around me if they were wanting to pass me hard enough. This spot right here was kind of a nice little tight uphill single trap climb. I thought it was kind of fun and nice neat little area. As we continue here, we're going back down. Here's another one of those little creek crossings. This one wasn't too bad. I have seen a few people get hung up there. Nothing too crazy though. And then back up another hill. This guy here takes a nice little tumble. Hopefully he was okay. I was not wanting to lose momentum, so I just kept on going. All right, here Robert ends up stalling out again. I try to go around him, and then I stall out. So I get kind of caught off guard here and had to get off the bike and try to reset. And I was doing pretty good as far as feeling good until I kind of stumbled here, and that's whenever I started losing my breath a little bit and getting a little sloppy. Now we're getting back on track and keep on going down the trail. As we get a little farther up here, it looks like some more people got a little hung up. Nothing too crazy though. Get around these guys right here just fine. And then for whatever reason, I don't know why, it was like a giant magnet just pulled me straight over here, and I lost momentum again, and then had to stall out and reset. Really bummed me out. I don't know why that caught me off guard, but I didn't have problems with that spot the rest of the day. For some reason, whatever happened there, it just pulled me right in. Nice little turn here going up a hill. Kind of winds around, catch a nice little break and get some momentum going up this thing and make it right on up. You can really tell in some of these areas when the sun hits or just right that falls in the air. Some of these trees are really pretty. That's one of the things you kind of miss out on sometimes racing, is you don't always get to see some of the pretty scenery around. Here we are on mile 3, and another little creek crossing, nothing too crazy here. Back up a little hill, and on down some more single track. These two guys I think I caught up with a couple different times during the day. I'm not sure what happened here, but it looks like one of them killed their bike, and number 802 there, he was just trying to go around him at that point. Then I kind of sit and wait for him to go because it sounded like he was getting ready to take off. And we're back on the trail. Right here we got another one of those uphills with the terrace water breaks, and right through here you see Robert gets around me. He picked a pretty good line and is really hauling butt now. And this, I believe, is the last part we see him in the video. But he ended up having a pretty good finish overall. Him and Tom both. Right in here we kind of go down one of these creek beds. This rock was pretty loose and piled thick. I felt like anytime you got off of the little groove that was made by the other bikes, it was kind of like riding on marble, so it was nice and loose rock. And made for an interesting challenge, something I don't really ride on a lot like that. Chadwick's a similar area, but not kind of as loose like that. Right through here we come back up out of the creek and then cross another portion of the creek. This is one of the kids that was stuck up the trail a little bit before. I think he was having a little bit of issues with his bike or something, but hopefully he was able to get it going and finish strong. As you can see, we're going back up another big hill. This hill towards the end of the day ended up becoming really loose, and it was like really fine powdery dirt and mixed in with a lot of rock. Made for a pretty fun time going up it. You kind of bounced around. For me anyway, I bounced around kind of like a pinball machine. I was all over the place on this thing. As you can see also, we just crossed mile 5, so we're almost halfway through it. Right here we cross another creek and start going up another one of these big hills. This one was also one of those ones that was super loose at the end of the day. You can hear that 2-stroke in front of me. He was really full rev going up that thing. This kid here, he was one of the guys that was in front of us earlier in the video, and he got stalled on his bike. He ended up accidentally cutting me off a little bit and caused me to lose a little momentum going up it, but no big deal. He apologized, as you can hear. Glad to see him get his momentum back and get going again. We start going back up the hill here and make it all the way up to the top, and we're back in the race. One thing that's probably pretty hard to tell in the video, but one thing I've been working on pretty hard is standing up more, and this was one of those courses that if you weren't standing up, you were getting beat to death on. So it was kind of a good one to have a nice long race like this and get some good practice in. Right there, as you can see, we're finally halfway. That was mile marker 6. We keep on chugging down this single track. Pretty hard to tell right here, but these were some pretty cool little ledges that they had on the track. I never had any issues with them. I was kind of curious if some of the juniors and smaller guys maybe did, but they were a fun little obstacle. I'm glad that we're on the trail. We keep on going down these hills, and through some of the Ozark scenery. I don't know if you guys are from around here. Most of my followers, I believe, are. But as you can tell, the Ozarks has a little bit of everything. There's some lower grounds like this where it's a little bit more overgrown and thick, and then you get into some pine trees. Then you can get into some oak hills, and they're pretty. Lots of rock. Right through here, this little creek bed was kind of neat. It was kind of like riding on a highway. It had a big sheetrock underneath it and a little bit of loose rock on it, but I didn't have too much trouble. I don't think anyone had too much trouble. In the morning during practice, it was pretty loose and slick because there was some moss on it and it was still pretty wet. But as the day went on, as you can see, it dried up quite a bit. I was able to get around this kid right through here. I was kind of glad he pulled off for me. I was able to cruise on down the road. Go over this little hump here and through this little water crossing right into mile 7. This mile is pretty much through the woods here. As you went along, it ended up coming out right here into this field, and we had a nice little open grass track area. Pretty rocky grass track area. As you can see, it kind of looked like a county road or something. I was able to pick up a little bit of speed through here. I'm still a fairly new rider, so I'm not the fastest by any means, but I do have a lot of fun when I go out, it seems like. Right here we get back into the woods, go through this little double creek crossing area right here, and back onto some single track. As you can see, there's a lot of little ledge rock and stuff, and some loose dirt, but nothing we couldn't handle or tackle. Right through here, it looks like we caught up to another rider, and we're just kind of following along with him, making our way through the woods. He was able to pull around that way and let me around, so I appreciate that. And right here, we go back out into another little straightaway and grass track area. Was able to carry quite a bit of speed through here too. It was pretty smooth, not too many rocks. And then we're back into the woods, and somehow we've missed mile 8, but we went straight into mile 9. No big deal. Straight into another creek. As you can see, some pretty good sized rocks through here. This area was a little bit trickier to get through, and I made the best of it and was able to get through it fairly smoothly, but I guess that wasn't the case for everybody. I actually enjoy these creeks quite a bit. It was something new for me that I'm not used to. Definitely loose rock, and you could kind of slide out of control if you weren't being too careful, but I enjoyed the new aspect and challenge of riding it. Right through here, go through another little grass track. It kind of goes zigzagging through here and comes out on the other side back into some woods. Now this creek, on the other hand, for some reason, the rest of the day, I had a lot of trouble getting through it. This right here was about the best I went through it the whole day. I don't know what happened later on, but it just really threw me off. Mile 10 now. This hill right here ended up being my favorite hill out of the whole course. Probably my favorite section in general out of the whole course. It was super rocky, pretty difficult to get up, very loose and tattered up at the end of the day, but it was really cool, and it was really a good challenge, and I enjoyed it. And it seemed like it just went on forever. This part here is still kind of part of that hill, not near as steep as that initial part where we're kind of turning around, but still a lot of fun. Get to the top of that and you get back into some more single track here, and nothing too crazy or tight, but still a lot of fun. Go down this little hill here, and there's some spectators there. Appreciate that guy cheering me on. Nice little motivation.
As you can see, we're getting close to some more people because it's starting to get pretty dusty again. This area here seemed like it went on forever. Eventually you get up here, a couple different lines here to get out of the woods here. This area here is kind of the straightaway before you go back through the gates. And these ended up being super rutted out at the end of the day and very loose as well. As you can see, there's already some pretty good sized ruts right there. Once you get through that last corner there, it kind of gets into some straightaways and pretty much smooth sailing all the way in. Right here, we're coming in for the check-in. I passed through here and I noticed the screen didn't get my number, so I mentioned something to them. I don't know if they heard me or not. And then we're back around through the pits, back towards where we started. I was pretty happy with the finish overall. Ended up with 13th. Ended up right in the middle of the pack out of 26 riders. Right here, these people kind of ran across the trail or track. Kind of reminded me of some deer getting across the road. Kind of holding up, kind of not. Now we're back on the home stretch. This is where the start was, and we're back into the woods. This is pretty much where I'm going to end the video. So if you guys hung in here this long, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to see more, or if you think you have a good tip for me or something like that, just leave a comment in the description below. If you like these kind of narrative lines over the videos, let me know about that as well. Thanks again, guys, for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I have no problem answering them. I try to stay on top of that stuff pretty good. Hope you guys have a good day. Thanks again for watching, and peace out.